Divine greetings, masters. Very good evening, good morning, good afternoon from whichever part of the world you are joining in. Thank you so much for being here. I am Madhu, welcoming you all to Light and Soul Meditation English group. So, masters, thank you for being here and sharing your time, space, and energy with us. We are doing Your Soul's Plan Swadhyaya, basically book review. And Your Soul's Plan book has been written by Robert Schwartz. And through this book, we are actually getting to know what all things we plan before birth, how our lives are being planned, how we take this journey. So there are many stories that Robert Schwartz had shared with us through this book, Your Soul's Plan. So the part that today I'm going to read will be from chapter 7 on accidents. And basically, we are now going to learn about Christina's story, where day before or maybe the last week, on Saturday, Shrabani ji had mentioned about Christina and her story, what happened. So we were actually going through Christina's second part of the story. Um, 1 second, masters. I believe I kept it. Okay. Yeah, so we actually were talking about Christina and how she went through this accident and what all things happened, how her face got burned, which and she had to go through many surgeries for reconstructing her face. Her hands were burned and a lot of other things happened. But through her stories, people found a lot of hope. And that is where we are. So I am on to page 237. I'll be starting a little bit from page 237 and then I'll be going ahead with my pages, which are from 238 to 247. So here, basically Robert is asking Christina, have you received information from Spirit as to why, in addition to learning patience and endurance, they planned those challenges before they were born? So the answer to that is like, because it was mentioned to Christina, so Robert is asking from Christina that have you received information from Spirit as to why, in addition to learning patience and endurance, they planned those challenges before they were born? So answer was sometimes it's self-love. She replied, some people who have lived their lives in a very unconscious way, doing many things as rapidly as possible, learn how to love themselves through having to slow their lives down. So just imagine when you are rushing around, when you're living your life without any, breaks or intervals, and you are just unconsciously doing something, basically out of habit, and you go through your life in a very speedy way. What happens? You tend to go through certain accidents, or maybe you hurt your toe, you stub your toe, right? Some kind of thing happens to you. That is basically kind of an indication that what I learned was that it is kind of telling you to slow down, enjoy your life, and love your own self. Give time to your own self by slowing down their lives. So suppose in our past lives, we must have lived a life where uh, uh, we have lived a life where we were very doing things in a very speedy way. Our journey took, very faster pace. But in this lifetime, maybe some people might be having, they might feel stuck, stagnant, or maybe they might feel this, that the pace is very slow. But during these times, we need to understand that it's the universe telling us to love our own self, to give time to our own self, to take care of our own self. So other lessons have to do with people in their environment. They are the ones learning. The person's soul has agreed to have that injury in order to give information to other people. The others are learning to love people who have injuries and to understand that what is invisible on earth, such as brain trauma, really does exist. So basically, some people do go through brain trauma. And this is what one of my questions. So, masters, when I'm actually reading this Your Soul's Plan book, I definitely had this question long time back when I was in college. and one person, a, a friend of, or I would say batchmate friend of mine, said that she had some nervous breakdown. And I could not understand how can a person go through a nervous breakdown. So I thought maybe because they were scared of the tests that they had to give when we go into the examination hall and we had to prepare ourselves. So I had this feeling that maybe she's lying, or maybe she is not uh, earlier that time. Definitely I understood later on, but it was not easy for me to understand, because see, everyone is brought up in a different way. So here, basically, they are saying that person's soul have agreed to have that injury so that others can have this information and learn from that. Basically, others can learn to love people. So basically, unconditional love. That is like, if someone gets injured and seeing their condition, we feel that compassion towards them. We feel that we should give them love, but it should not be like we should not sympathize, but we should understand them. We should empathize with them. So part of the knowledge I have been given to pass on to people is that they made a pact to have this happen. When you tell people that, it's very calming to them when they begin to understand that they did make this pact to learn specific lessons. Then it's a forward movement. So another question that was that Rob asked was, Christina, as a healer, what would you say to people who must endure great physical pain? So as uh, Shrabani ji mentioned, that draw a circle and step into that and feel your pain, accept that, right? And be in that surrender mode. So that is what, and then it will then subside to levels you can handle. So then you will be able to handle. So then there's another question that Robert asked. Christina, how did the relationships in your life change as a result of the explosion? So Robert asked. So Christina says that some of my friends left me. And they were like, people understand that life is extremely fragile. If it can happen to someone, they know it can happen to them as well. And that's basically very frightening, very scary. So whoever is supposed to be in your life will be there. Sometimes you have to walk the journey alone, and you don't need a lot of outside help. So, masters, we all are given divine powers. We all have that divinity within us. And we need to understand that whatever it is, we can take our journey forward. We don't need anybody's help. But we need to understand that sometimes you are to walk the journey alone, and you don't need a lot of outside help. I'm stressing on this line because this is really important. And you may think you do. Sometimes out of that victim consciousness, we think that we need that help from people, but no, we actually don't need. The people who think that and wallow in that become victims. If you look inside yourself, the pathway will be lighted for you, no matter whether you walk it alone or with other people. All you need to do is ask spirit for help. Basically, when you think that you can do, till you have to walk that path, because if you know that you have to go there either ways, then why be fearful? Just go, start walking ahead, take that journey, say yes to that opportunity that has come in front of you, and walk that path, and then the light will be shown to you. Basically, asking spirit for help, and they will be there to help you and guide you. So one of Christina's greatest changes took place in her relationship with her husband. So now there was this discussion between her husband and Christina. So Christina says that, yes, my husband took proper care of me. He actually took good care of me, and he was very supportive. He was very protective, and he believed that he caused it by being late. So basically, there's this story. I will share it. Christina had to go and pick that mail up. So if his husband would have come at the right time to pick her up, so she would not go into that mail area to pick the mail. She would have gone by then. She would have been with her husband, and she would have been safe. So a part of this is basically felt as guilt by her husband, and so he says that he believes that he caused it by being late. So yet, despite the end of her, so and later on, what happened was that they ended their marriage. But despite the years of physical and emotional pain, Christina had forgiven the bomber. Robert wondered if she had any additional wisdom to share with others who may be struggling to forgive. So basically, Christina is saying that bless that person, ask that they be forgiven, and allow it to occur by releasing them to a consciousness that's higher than ours. So basically, telling them that you have to bless that person. Blessing in which sense? That blessing that they should be okay, they have what they need, they should have whatever they need, it should be given to them. And when you forgive, basically you allow this thing to occur. Basically, you release them to a consciousness higher than yours. And Christina suggested the best thing to do is release, because all they do is to take energy which you could be using to do the good for the world. So basically, masters, here um, Christina is saying that when you release and when you forgive, what happens is you basically now are releasing them from your energy field, right? So that is the understanding that comes, that when you forgive someone, what do? Now we are not taking their energy and we are using our own energy, because whatever happened, and now you have to forgive, you have to let that energy go. And because by thinking and not forgiving them, you are also, again, you have that mindset that they have done something wrong. Again, you are giving them that energy. So this energy can be used in a different place, a good place where it is worthwhile. So another question, beyond forgiveness, how do you get to the point of gratitude? So Christina says, layers unfolded like an onion. So she says that I am grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that the pain had started to lift. I was grateful if it was just 30 seconds, as that the pain would stop. So for even if for 30 seconds of the pain had stopped, she was grateful for that. I didn't feel that way in the beginning because the pain was all the time. But there comes a time when being in the dark side is more than one can bear. So if you are in the darkness, you know, many times, then what happens is you want to get out of the darkness. You don't want to be in the dark anymore. You want to see the light, and that is where that now you can't bear that darkness. After a while, you want to come to light, and that is what she says. Your choice is to move into the light. And the bomber, now Robert has this question, what about the bomber? And the bomber, he had chosen to do that. So basically, they're talking about light. Did he want to come out in that light? Basically, did he found that, that he did something wrong, or, what happened to him? So he had been chosen to do that, Christina said. I think it's a very high point of light to be chosen to do something we wouldn't consciously think of as a goodwill. So basically, here the bomber, before the incarnation, he also have taken this soul planning, where he is going to be a bomber. He's going to place the bomb, and people, or there will be loss of lives or things. Many things will happen, and that is what he had planned. But because he was chosen, so he went ahead and he did that. But was he ready? Now the thing is, so um, as a goodwill, he did that. Now, later on, we will actually come to know what the bomber had thought of, what was happening in their mind. So now there was session with Christine, like Stacey Wells. So Stacey Wells again is this medium, and to further obtain information, so Christina's life blueprint, and to listen to the conversation from her pre-birth planning, Christina and Robert talked with Stacey Wells. Robert provided Stacy with Christina's name and birth date, and also told how she was injured with the bomb explosion, and basically had been severely injured years ago in a bomb explosion. So now Stacy started focusing on this incident, and she started hearing that this was the year of karma, that accident was basically no accident. It was planned, totally planned, basically pre-birth planned. So right, says Christina. So Stacy's guide uh, now took her to actual planning session. So now there's this actual planning session, and in that planning session, they see Stacy sees that Christina is standing in a checkered room, large room. Basically, in a larger room, there are all the soul groups. Basically, the soul groups are standing. Basically, souls are standing, and in the smaller group, there are spirit guides. So in the adjoining room where the spirit guides are, there is this soul group members are also there. Christina is wearing an ivory gown and very simple, flowing, natural. And you can say that she says that she wants to heal the world. She's a very, she's a smart woman who was short, verbal, and she wanted to basically, she had worked in the past lives uh, in the crusades, worked between by the soldiers. She worked to protect others who could have come under suspicion. She ministered to them. She fed them. She housed them. Uh, so Christina is telling that, not Christina, sorry, Stacy is telling them about Christina that you told them safe routes they could go. When your friends were taken into prison and held captive, you handed them food, clothing through the grades. So she did whatever it could for her to give help to all those people. Basically, they are actually talking about French Revolution, the time where the Crusades were happening. They were actually trying to stop the spread of Islam. Basically, Crusades were because of all those. So Muslims can't take hold of the French quarters. So, and she was basically an unseen soldier. Basically, she was helping anyone who would need help. So, feeding, cooking, cleaning, ministering them, taking care of them, and giving them, telling them the routes where they should go. So, when her friends were also taken into prison, who were held captive, she handed them food and clothing, and so she did everything. So there was a desire to be of service and help people empower themselves in spiritual and practical ways is a continuing karmic theme. So in her life, this is what is being seen, that this thing that she's helping everyone spiritually and she's taking practical ways to help everyone else, and this has continued in her lives. Basically, she's building karma also, right? So this is, as said, karmic theme. So of all things, the mind fascinates you. I see you having discussions. Stacy is saying, of all things, the mind fascinates you. I see you having discussions with one particular spirit guide and three others in your soul group about how you wanted to study the mind and its implications in various body disorders in this lifetime. You wanted to empower people through better use of their minds. So now Christina says, I'm asking to be shown a no, sorry, Stacy is saying that I'm asking to be shown a conversation regarding the accident. So Stacy senses that there is one individual responsible for this. I am seeing you discuss things with the soul. I hear you agreeing to be part of the scenario. So Christina here says it in that scene where Stacy is sensing, that scene is being told here, written. Christina says it will herald a new opening in my life. It will act as a mental, unconscious reminder for me at the time to turn back to the path I want to walk. I need something like this so that I will make a course correction and be reminded of the greater purpose for my life. So basically, in recovery from this explosion, you will empower yourself through the use of your mind, not just in terms of healing, but also healing mentally and emotionally. So the guide is telling everyone about this. So not only she's healing herself, but at emotional and mental levels also she's healing herself. So she's trying to empower herself through the use of her mind. So it would have been very easy for you to walk a different path, a path that is very familiar to you, where you can actually put your needs in the last, at last, basically, not taking care of yourself, but putting your needs last. If this accident hadn't happened, so you are a woman of great energy. Your soul is vital and active. You seemed very enthusiastic, saying that you would be okay. On the soul level, you seemed jovial about it. Some of your soul group didn't say anything. They just listened impartially and observed. Others were surprised and shocked that you would choose such dramatic means of changing direction. You laughed about it, saying, I need that kind of energy to make that kind of change. So basically, Stacy was saying about Christina. And so Stacy asked to Christina, this bomb, Was it in a brick building? So Christina confirmed yes, and basically it was, and it was a very, very old building. So Stacy is saying that I am seeing the right thing then. I'm being taken again to when you sit down and converse with the man who built the bomb. He's quite individual. Sorry, he's a quite individual. He only makes noises with bombs, at least on the soul level. He's oddly compassionate. He has had problems, though, through several lifetimes, with expressing himself through words, feeling at ease when he converses with people, and even being out in public where many people are gathered in one lifetime. So basically, he had schizophrenia, and he nonetheless manages to feel compassion at soul level. But in the past lifetimes, he had this disorder called as uh, schizo, I think it is schizophrenia. So a disorder where the person's that affects the person's ability to think, feel, and behave clearly. So it affects a person, and it affects their thinking ability, feeling ability, and also behaving with clarity or clearly. So this was basically this disorder of this person in the past life he has gone through, where he could not communicate properly, he could not behave, he could not feel, he could not think. And this issue had actually brought a lot of problems in his mind, and he had problems in many other lifetimes. At the time you were talking about this, it was difficult for him to come face to face with you. His compassion makes him want to withdraw and hide. He would prefer to work unseen. Your conversation with him is stop and go. You get some sentences said, and then there's silence. Then some other sentences. Then he starts to get up and you pull him back. His concern seems to be with your well-being. You are almost acting like a spirit guide to him. He is a part of your soulhood. You have seen him struggle with this issue through many lifetimes. I see you reach out to him. So basically, what is happening here? This person feels compassion towards Christina because he knows that what this bomb explosion can do to Christina. So that's why he feels very compassionate. But basically, he's very concerned about her well-being. And but now you are also acting like a spirit guide. Krishna is acting like a spirit guide to this this person who is the bomber. And so he started to get up, but she says that, no, it's okay. And, he's part of your soul group and you have seen him struggle with this issue. And Stacy sees that now she's reaching out to him. So the man who's the bomber, I never want to kill, injure, maim, or harm somebody. It is never my intent. I just want to make a statement. I just want to be heard clearly. So basically, in his past lifetimes also, there was this issue that he wasn't able, like people would not hear him clearly. So through bomb explosion, the sound that he made basically helped him that people are giving attention to him. So this is the way to grab attention. So uh, I just want to make a statement. I just want to be heard clearly. Christina now here says that we hear you, we see you. All of us here see you and hear you. I will help you with this. I will help you with this. So she stresses on this word, this. I will serve your purpose. And in serving you, I will also serve myself. Don't you see? So when you say this, Robert asked, you mean this communication problems? He's wrestling with guilt about this. He doesn't want to hurt you or be responsible for anything that hurts you. But it's very clear as you plan your lives that his is going to become a jumbled entanglement, and that his ability to express himself will not be at the level he's trying to achieve. He will turn once again to doing things behind closed doors, in secret, and that will have a large impact on people. It's all about communication for him. So now, if he does the same thing behind closed doors, when no one is watching, he could build a bigger bomb or do something much more bigger than this so he can grab that attention. I feel coming from you, Christina, a great deal of love. I hear you making assurances to him, trying to get him to come out of his viewpoint to see your side and how it will serve your purpose. There's a lot of convincing and hand holding there. You try to convey to him that you will be affected only positively. So basically, that man does not want to do this, but because of Christina, she says that, you have to do it. So it took him so much time, that soul actually took so much time to even say yes to that, because there was a lot of convincing and hand holding, because that bomber, that soul basically, when they were in that soul form, soul was worried that what it would do to Christina. Basically, maybe it might impact Christina in a negative way. Maybe she can't forgive anyone, and that karma would continue. So Christina says, it's okay. I want to do this. I will help you. I will help myself. I will see only light. Negativity does not always beget negativity. Sometimes negativity is the road to wholeness. We all have to start somewhere. So Stacy says, so concluded, this is a soul in your soul group and who you have great compassion for. Now, here, Robert, I now had a good understanding of how the explosion had furthered Christina's goals for this lifetime. Nevertheless, Rob was unsure how causing an explosion would help the bomber to overcome past life difficulties with communication. I'm not clear on what planting a bomb does for him, Robert says to Stacy. Robert said to Stacy, what does it help him to accomplish? So abruptly, Stacy's speech slowed and became halting. Now the spirit guide is actually channeling through Stacy. And so now uh, they are talking directly through her. This soul has been struck for millennia in a self-absorbed, self-defeating cycle and has resorted to violent tendencies through several lifetimes. In another lifetime, he was a member of IRA, that is Irish Republican Army, who often did violent things, who helped plan attacks, who helped make bombs. This has been his means of communication. Emotional intimacy is difficult for him, though through it all, there had been an underlying need to create self-esteem. This life and this intersection in time with this bomb and Christina are for him an extension of another lifetime where he is still trapped in this cycle. So you can understand that he was still basically learn. It was to create self-esteem, confidence that he can do something, and emotional intimacy is very difficult for him. So as quickly as Stacy had left, basically when she was channeling, so when the spirit guide came, she now returned. So now Stacy is coming back to her senses, her speech restored to its usual manner. She continued listening to the pre-birth conversation. So there is discussion with Christina about him getting caught and being trapped, that this bomb could be the thing that leads him to get help. Basically, here they are saying that we all have spent various lifetimes in repeating that self-defeating behaviors, right? That basically aren't serving us. And then basically we learn to move on. That when we understand that these are self-repeating behaviors and we are actually defeating our own purpose, and not solving, we are actually wasting the incarnation. So then we try and we are able to move on. So there are two different things coming to understanding that it is serving us and being able to correct ourselves. One thing is that this situation is not serving us, this cycle is not serving us, and then second, we have to correct ourselves. So Christina is very much into helping people correct themselves. She volunteers to be at the effects of another one of his violent communications in the hope that it will help him correct himself. I keep hearing the word peace here. She hopes that it will help him eventually find peace. He has from time to time gotten a payoff for this behavior. The payoff in the IRA was that he was well respected. So basically, when he was making bombs, whatever his work was, basically in the inner circle, he was always well respected, made feel very important. And he had done this kind of theme in many lifetimes. So it was easier for him to basically go into this direction than anything else, basically bomb making, or doing something technical. So eventually he's going to shift. Christina was hoping that this lifetime would be that time. So Christina asked that, have I met him? So Stacy says, no, not in this lifetime, Stacy told her. And then I asked if we could hear the conversation. Robert actually says that, can we hear the conversation between Christina and three other souls? So Stacy had first seen in the planning room. There was a long pause as Stacy listened. So there was the three people who were there, one father, mother, and a blonde young woman. And so basically, so she's saying that, there was the another blonde young woman. There was your father, mother, and basically in the upcoming incarnation. They are all, so your parents are concerned with your welfare. They're questioning you. Are you sure you want to do this? Christina says, yes, it is what I want. I can handle this. I am very strong. You know that. I can take on the greatest challenges. Basically, Christina is telling to their mother and father in the soul planning session. So the younger female, Stacy added, is that somebody who was in your life who was in your life for 2 years prior to the accident. So they are talking about a lady, a young blonde woman named Alice. And so earlier they thought that maybe it was because of karma or something, but no, she actually was a friend before the explosion. It wasn't in your mutual plans for her to be a lifelong friend. Stacy responded. Stacy's words reminded me that we often plan to be friends or even spouses with other people for finite periods of time. Since we have no memory of these agreements, we may view the end of a friendship or marriage as a negative event. Because it is for a finite time, if anything ends, maybe a friendship ends or maybe the marriage ends, we think that this was a very negative event in our life. We take it as a negative event, but actually we part ways with others and when we have completed our plans with them. So basically it was the time for a finite period of time only for karmas, to finish and balance of the karmas. They are there to help us, teach us, because the karmics are always in our lives, because we need to learn a lesson, something that we are here for, and that is why the journey was together. So right, she is not. Christina confirmed. Basically, she was not karmic, but she was her friend. It's definitely not. Sorry, it's definitely a before the accident friendship, said Stacy. I get the feeling that she was your closest friend at that time, perhaps even a roommate. So Christina says, yes, that's exactly right. And Stacy hear her saying, Alice, basically, are you sure the explosion is what you want? Oh, and I see your husband coming up to the four of you. He had been sitting and observing. So now four of you, who are the four of them? Basically, mother, father, Alice, and Christina. And now the husband comes, and basically he had been sitting and observing with the rest of your soul group. I see him put his arms around you. So husband says, I will ease some of your burden. I respect all that you do. I respect that you hold the light for many of us. I will support you as much as I possibly can while you go through your time of healing and build your strength. So he kisses Christina on forehead. He puts his arm around her, and basically shown a great mutual respect and understanding between the two of them. So now the appearance of Christina's former husband brought to mind a question in Robert's mind that had occurred. Uh, so Robert says, Stacy, at the time of explosion occurred, Christina's husband was late picking her up from work because he was engrossed in reading. Could it be that one of his Christina's spirit guides focused him to such an extent that it forced him to be late? So Stacy says yes. Basically, the spirit guide had made sure that he keeps himself engrossed in reading. Basically, at that time when this explosion had to happen, they actually altered his consciousness. He was in an altered state of consciousness. He was removed from the reality of time, and that is why he became late. So and who was that spirit? Basically, who was that guide when this was being orchestrated? This spirit was actually one of the guides I saw at the pre-birth planning session. It was Cassandra or Leona, he asked. So Stacy says it was Cassandra. And so again, Stacy, Robert asked, please ask your guide to take us to any other portion of the pre-birth conversation in which Christina talks about how she will grow as a result of this experience, or how the experience will allow her to do work that benefits humanity. So basically, Stacy is being shown that beginning of this pre-birth planning session, Christina is with her highest guide, who is in a male form. Stacy had mentioned a checkered board before in other sessions. So she's seeing that again, and this is like an actual checkerboard, though not the pattern on the floor. I see Christina taking pieces and skipping several squares. she is talking to her guide. So Christina says, I have made great leaps in past lives. I can continue in this life to make great leaps in growth. I want to do that. I'm capable of that. I want to be relevant. Whatever the circumstances, I want to be relevant and help people in a relevant manner. So now there's the talk about her teaching, lecturing, and writing. And those suggestions are coming from the spirit guides. Christina says, I need to be more hands-on with people. And there is talk about Christina's intellectual capacity and her ability to analyze people, situations, and family dynamics. There are skills gained in previous lifetimes and the interim between lives. Christina gestures to her heart and says, I want to make a difference. So now Christina talks about working in the background in the Crusades and French Revolution. In those two other lifetimes was getting food to people, getting them hidden, getting them to the next safe house. So I have told you this already, but here Christina and the talk between spirit guide is going on. I'm going to share that. Christina says, I'm tired of doing that. I want to be of service to others, but I don't want it to be as fundamental as it was. I want to do something more and different in helping capacity. Spirit Guide says, you can become part of the brave new wave of people entering into physical embodiment at a time. When the world is ready to embrace again the notion of using unseen energies and even magnetism in healing methods without it being thought of as witchcraft. So it reminds me of the Salem witchcraft uh, era, where people, when if anyone who uses any kind of healing energy, they were told as witches, and also unseen energies. You can't use all those, and then they were given punishments. So here the unseen energies are basically your mind power abilities, the power of your mind, telepathy, telekinesis, your clairs, becoming a seer or seeker, basically your clairs can help you, extrasensory perception, and also other energies, healing power, Reiki, any other kind of healing, pranic healing, or any other. Because back then also, if they might be using all those healing techniques, and even magnetism. So people, when they think with heart, basically, when their heart is more open, what happens? Magnetic energy radiates out. So magnetism is also a person who is with full of charm and beauty. What are they going to do? And if they have this loving energy radiating outwards, basically very loving towards unconditional love, what will happen? Like if we talk about Mary Magdalene, who was Jesus's twin, twin flame. So she was very loving, very like as if love radiates from her. She channelizes love. So that same way, people would actually during that time would give them punishments. So anyway, here I was reading about the spirit guide. So he says, you can become a part of the brave new wave of people entering into physical embodiment at a time when the world is ready to embrace again the notion of using unseen energies and even magnetism in healing methods without it being thought of as witchcraft. So Christina agrees to work in a healing capacity. Emotional healing at the very core often brings about the spiritual growth she wanted to help people with. She also wanted to help people in a way that would let them dictate their own journey and develop and envelop them in a process of self-discovery. Basically helping people to discover their own self and releasing those emotions, hard emotions. So Christina says, again, the talk with spirit guide is there. Through so many lifetimes, I have known myself so well and so clearly. That has been the energy that empowered me to be so strong, to fight and to help others fight. I want to embrace others and enable them to discover the same self-confidence and self-empowerment. So now basically there is a talk about how Christina would have to rediscover this process for herself in order to be reminded of it so that she could turn and teach others. So now I'm being shown something, Stacy said excitedly. Christina, did you spend a period of time in unconsciousness after this accident? So she says yes. Basically, the pre-birth, I'm being shown that this is all in your pre-birth planning session. So when this accident happened, masters, during that time, Christina was going on and off, coming out and going in like coming into consciousness and then going out of consciousness, basically not in that conscious state, unconscious. So what happened was during that unconscious state also, spirit guide were giving her that seed, basically putting that seed. So basically they see that there's an apple coming in the session also, and whatever she needs to do later on during that unconscious period, that seed was also put into her mind. So this is where they are telling they would be trying on the soul level. So during the time when we are unconscious, we are on to the soul level. So they would be trying on the soul level to remind you of the purpose of the accident. They also worked with you to heal you, to show you your healing abilities, and to remind you that you wanted to carry this forward with others. You had a lot of help. So Christina said, yes, empathetically. In this part of the planning, Stacy, there's a talk from your guides about reaching the masses. And masters, this line, I am like, it touched my heart because this is very near to me. As if, I'm reading my own self. And it was like, in this part of the planning, Stacy continued, there's a talk from your guides about reaching the masses. They encourage you to involve yourself with large number of people, spread your wealth of knowledge, and infect people with your strength, purpose, and sense that anything can be accomplished. They talked with you a lot about doing something in your later years, such as writing a book, which would serve as a platform for you to travel and make public appearances. It was talked about as something you could do in your 50s. Have you ever felt you wanted to write a book? Actually, I have, Christina says. And what kind also, that also she had thought. So at that moment, Robert recalled Cassandra's reference to Christina's decision to participate in this book. So now there's this thing that Stacy is actually, Stacy, I said, like basically Robert is saying to Stacy, Cassandra told me that Christina and I are in the same soul group and that we planned for her to tell her story in my book. Can you hear the conversation? So basically, what happened was that uh, during the time when this pre-birth planning was happening, the soul groups were there and the guides were there. Basically, in the soul group, there were many authors. This soul group was with they had many authors in that soul group where Christina's pre-birth planning session is going, and Robert was actually on the fourth row, and he was listening and observing. He was an observer, and basically he was four rows back from Christina and whoever she's interacting with. So he was watching. So he was writing a letter. Sorry, he was writing. Sorry, I'm so sorry, masters. Uh, Stacy sees him having a letter writing tablet in his hand and a stylus of some kind, and he rises up from the soul group and walk towards Christina. So you are writing something as you do that. He picks up, and Robert pick that up, and basically in several other lifetimes also he has done the same thing. Basically an observer and a chronicler. You have developed the powers of the observer. Although you play a small role in Christina's life, she seems delighted to see you as you come toward her. You sit down and talk to her about the details. She claps her hands together excitedly. Rob says to her in that pre-birth planning session, I would like to chronicle your journey. Christina says, oh yes, please do. Rob says, I'm going to write a series of books, beginning with the one I want your story in, that will chronicle the journey of the soul. Journey we all take for lifetimes. I would like to include your journey as a way to represent cause and effect karma. So although Cassandra has told us of our intended collaboration, hearing words that I had spoken before incarnating was entirely different. But see, Cassandra has already told them about it, but hearing from Stacy now and listening that he was there in the pre-birth planning was entirely different and quite thrilling. And the information was entirely consistent with what I had learned in personal sessions with other mediums. Um, However, he was very much like basically recording human experience, and he was perplexed by the term cause and effect karma, as I had always thought of karma as a balancing. Though I did not know it at the time, my long forgotten pre-birth use of this term would have a significant impact on my post-birth work. So basically, in the pre-birth planning, he had using this word, the cause and effect karma. And now basically, he never knew that he is going to use this word in the post-birth work. I now conceptualize karmic balancing as a cause and effect phenomenon. I'm seeing an apple appear at the moment in the conversation. Stacy continued. You manifested the apple, Rob. You are using the analogy of planting seeds. That is the purpose you want your books to serve. Rob, here with the spirit guide talking, Robert is saying, I want to plant seeds in the mind of many people, seeds of knowledge and awareness of the soul and the soul's journey, and explain the mysteries or what so many people think of as the mysteries. In the process, my journey will include self discovery. Your Christina's story will enlighten. So, your story will enlighten others about the process of cause and effect karma and many paths a soul can take. So now there's a hug between you two, basically Christina and Robert, as a mutual understanding. And then another question came to mind, uh, came to Robert's mind. Stacy, can you hear any conversation between Christina and Cassandra? So Stacy then repeated words from Cassandra to both Christina and Robert. Cassandra says, you, that is Christina. Christina and I have worked together in other lifetimes to let people know that they are not alone, that there are always others who will help, others who have been through it before. Whatever it is, this is a part of the circle of life. There is no line between soul life and physical life. It is all one. The involvement with Rob and the book will further the principle that people go through the same thing even even though their lives may seem different. So now they actually are mentioning that everyone thinks that their life is very unique and they have unique set of challenges, but everyone goes through same kind of things, but at different in a different way. When people feel they are the only ones to experience something, it is a selfish delusion. To wallow in delusional moments of self-pity disconnects one from the flow of life and the flow of eternity. It is by not cutting oneself off from life that people progress. By realizing the unity of all people, mankind moves to the next step in consciousness. This is a part of greater good which we all serve. So, Masters, I am ending it here. Uh, Page number 248, the first para, I have finished it. But maybe when we do the another one, 248 to 257, we are going to finish this book. So, thank you so much. Here, that's the end of today's Swadhyaya book review, Masters. If anyone has anything to share or they want to ask anything, please feel free to do so. We have at least 5-7 minutes, 10 minutes to take on the questions. Please do raise your hand if anyone has anything to share or if you want to ask or any question that or anything that you could not understand. So here, well, nobody's sharing, no problem. But here I have this wonderful thing that I felt every time whenever I read this, it feels as if it's somewhere some portions are as if they're guiding me. I don't know why it feels to me. So this is what I felt when I was reading it today. Yes, Sheelamji.
Namaste, Madhuji.
Namaste.
I just was thinking the person who planted the bomb, he was in the French Revolution. Now, by doing this, isn't he increasing his more karmas rather than working out his
No,
past karma?
because no, because see, he was basically whatever he was doing to help people. And also, when this bomb explosion was also being done by him, what it was basically to so that Christina can learn certain lessons. It was done on goodwill, not to harm anyone, basically, right? It was a pre-planned thing. Definitely, it was Christina was harmed, other people were harmed, but to bring that consciousness, awareness into people's mind that this was happening. Definitely, they have their own sets of cause and effect karma phenomenon, as Robert said. But here, he was given respect, more, very much respect in where he used to work, right? Earlier in his past lifetimes. But he had certain problems, health challenges. Schizophrenia was one of the things where he could not think and feel or behave clearly in many other past lives. And it actually created a lot of problems. So he was going through that karma already, right? In the form of that disease, disorder.
No, but wasn't it increasing his karmic account? See, trying to help somebody is
No,
harming them.
that is what there was a line where they said, no, it was actually not creating that kind of karma. Because this soul came here to help Christina to learn that lesson. Right?
Lesson of what? Going through the tortures of this pains?
No. Basically, she had to come out of her own problems, as like her face was burned. She had to go through a lot of
Surgery.
reconstructing surgeries, and then she came out of all those, basically empowering herself, and then using her mind to get out of all those situations, bodily pain and everything, and then coming out and now teaching others, giving hope to others, that when I can come out, you can come out too. Because there were many accidents, right? Cases, people who were in the car accident, some first time they had their car accident happened, or car accident happened. Second time also, when people have it is basically rear-ended. Somebody rear-ended them. So what happened? They might be having some kind of surgeries. People, who were in those accidents. What would have happened? Basically, telling those people that you can get well, you can come out of your challenges. And they were actually growing spiritually, right? Consciously
Mm.
also, their consciousness was also increased. And that is why the souls of Christina, basically the personality Christina and personality of the bomber came and they incarnated in this lifetime. Christina has never met that fellow, but the bomb was placed. She only came into contact with the bomb. She did not come in contact with the bomber. So there was like, definitely she had forgiven that bomber already. And there's also one more. Now, when you are going to read in the page number 248, what happens when we don't forgive? When we don't forgive, our cells inside the body, they become hard. They become hard. And then we can't use that energy. If any good energy is also coming, we can't use that energy because our cells outer layer has become hard. So when we try and forgive others, what happens is our cells become softer, and basically they become soft, and they are energized. So when we release that energy out from our system, when we forgive them, we don't hold back that energy anymore. Now our cells inside the body are much softer, and they can use that energy. They can absorb that energy, new energy coming in. So that is why we have to forgive and use that energy for the betterment of ourselves, for growing spiritually and consciously. So thank you, Sheelamji. I hope I was able to help you. Yes, Ninaji, I saw your hand raised as well. If you want to ask your question. Did she go? No, Ninaji is here. Yeah, if you would like to share or ask anything, please feel free, Ninaji. Hello?
Hi.
Yeah,
Um,
hi, Ninaji.
Hi, Madhuji. So actually, I was listening to this and I got confused. Even yesterday, somebody asked, like, what about all those terrorists who plant the bombs?
Mm-hmm.
Are they like
I'm
uh,
sorry.
reducing the karmas of others, like helping them out?
Can you say that again? Sorry, I could not hear you. A little louder, please.
Okay. I mean to say, like, uh, even yesterday, somebody asked similar kind of question, right? All these terrorists who plants the bomb and hurt other people, are they helping other people in their karmas?
Yes, yes. Actually, we don't know what the people who died because of those explosions, terrorist attacks,
Right.
what must have they done, committed, right, in past lifetimes. And here, sometimes that is what is being mentioned in this Your Soul's Plan book, that when these kind of accidents happen somewhere, what it does to that community, the consciousness is basically, it is raised spiritually, and also we become compassionate. People earlier would not be compassionate to anyone. Basically, from different parts of the world, many people become compassionate for that community, for that area. Because see, in India also, when we heard that there was this 9/11 attacks
Mhm.
happened. So what happened to like the whole world? What happened? People from every country, they started praying for US, for like, Pentagon and everything. So during that time, many people lost their lives. Two buildings were, you know, they came down, and a lot of things happened that time. And many people lost their lives. But the thing was that many people started giving help, supporting each other, being compassionate, kind, forgiveness. These things are, we all are here to learn these lessons. And during these kind of attacks or problems, issue like challenges or even wars, what happens? People go through so much pain because they have accumulated that karma and they have to go through that pain. And people who do that, as such, we see that they are doing some bad thing, right, or negative thing. That event is very negative. But at spiritual level, when we say, right, that when people don't learn their lessons, Mother Nature attacks, or Mother Nature
Right.
does something that is not soft or good. It is very harsh. Mother Nature becomes very harsh, and she takes, basically we say that Mother Nature has taken that revenge, but not revenge. It's about learning your lesson, caring and being compassionate to all the beings that are living on the planet, and taking care of Mother Nature also, Mother Earth. Not to use plastics, not to ruin things, many other things are there. Not to use plastics and chemicals, many things.
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, sometimes I think, then what about that person itself, their own karma, who's planting bomb? I know they might be helping, but I don't know. I get
See,
confused.
definitely the karma, the cause and effect is always there, no doubt. But the universe has its own way of working, right? And
Right.
as souls also, we are here, like as personality, we are here. But above all, we all are souls, powerful souls, and we all are working together for the same one thing, that everyone who is going through any kind of challenge, they think that it is only my challenge, and my challenge is the biggest challenge, and it's a very unique one. But if you see from soul level, basically it will be that everyone goes through certain kind of challenge which is very similar to everyone. Everyone goes through challenge. That is the oneness, that is what they are telling us, that everyone goes through challenge because everyone has to learn certain lessons. That is why we are here.
Thank you, Madhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
So thank you everyone, and thank you for listening to me. So let's go into meditation, masters, if no one has any questions. Thank you. And take your positions, masters. Drink a little bit of water before you sit into meditation. Take out your glasses if you are wearing one, and sit in a relaxed position. Sit crisscross with your legs, feet like this, crisscross. Or if you're sitting on sofa or chair, uh, try to cross your ankles like this. These are my hands, but you have to cross your ankles. Now, with your hands, you have to clasp your hands and fingers together and keep them on your lap and close your eyes. So, masters, let's go into meditation. We are going to do Anapansati meditation. So, as we start this meditation, remember that we have to breathe in and breathe out through our nostril. And remember that this breath that you are taking in, it should be slow and steady. No pause, no breakage. It's just take your time breathing in very slowly. And when you breathe out, remember that you are breathing out and relaxing your body. And one by one, as you breathe out, your breath takes out your problems, your health challenges, any trauma. You release it out, let it transmute into golden energies. And as you breathe in, remember that you are breathing in, recharging, rejuvenating, loving, peaceful breath. So every now and then when you're breathing in, you have to feel and imagine that yes, you are breathing in a very rejuvenated, recharged, very loving and peaceful breath that is coming inside, which is full of light and life force energy. Basically, very healing to your body and mind and soul. And when you release this breath out, remember that you are breathing out your problems, your health challenges, your difficult emotions, trauma, leaving your body as you breathe out, and let it transmute into golden energies, as if all your problems are black smoke, and as you release, you're transmuting everything into golden clouds. Everything turns into golden energy, sparkling golden energy. So, masters, take your position, sit straight with your back straight. You can take support of a wall or pillow, but don't give support to your head. Only give support to your back if you want to. Otherwise, you can sit by your own self straight. Keep your shoulders relaxed. If you feel your shoulders are tensed, try to rotate it, back and forth. And relax your neck, your shoulders, your hands. So from head to toe, try to feel and imagine your body as if you are a sitting pyramid. The crown is the peak of that pyramid, and your feet are the base of the pyramid. As you breathe in and breathe out, you experience rejuvenating, recharging breath. Every breath that you breathe in, try to relax your head. Don't waste your time, masters. Every moment is precious. As you sit in meditation, try to close your eyes and as you breathe in, relax your facial expressions. Bring a smile on your face. Let your jaws relax as you breathe in. As you breathe in, masters, you breathe in, masters, relax your neck, breath that enters your body. Close your eyes. Your ears, your jaw turn. As you breathe, close your eyes. Feel relaxed, smooth incoming of life force energy. Upper back, and breathe in. Your vertebrae, your spine. From the brainstem up till the tailbone. Long, relax. You breathe out. Release energy that doesn't serve you. Let it transmute into golden energies. And then breathe in through your nostril and let this life force enter your heart. Let your lungs expand with incoming. Experience joy, happiness of incoming breath. And breathe out your infections, your blockages, your pain and trauma. Transmute into golden energies. You breathe in, masters. Bring your attention to your stomach region. Breathe in fully. Let your stomach expand. Breathe out and release any digested emotional thoughts, any anxiety, fear, any issues with your confidence, any issues with your diabetes, challenges. As you breathe out, you focus on that issue and with your breath. As you are yourself, that happiness, that distance, other or emotion. Your mind is so powerful, it can heal things. Have psychological issues in your body. It is also because of your mind, your things, your hurt, have been given trauma. And these can is possible, and that is what we should be doing. Hope as you breathe out, you release your and out through your hands and let them transmute into good energies. Breathe in again. Focus on the incoming breath. Let it out into feel this part, rejuvenating breath. As you out and recharge yourself, of any fear, anger, irritation. Breathe, feel, release pain or trauma, any emotion, any creative blockages, any just release and as if you are becoming lighter. All that heaviness had gone. Now put your focus and attention onto the lower half part of your body. Masters. Relax your thighs, your knee muscles, letting heaviness go off, emotions that are where you want to have your own way. Let them be. Let them feel still as you breathe out. Breathe in and relax. Let us invoke, ask her for her divine energies, for her balancing and stabilizing energies, healing energies. As you feel the connection happening between you and Mother Earth. Have your root and Mother Earth, making that connection. That body is like a tree growing roots down. The earth is coming into harmonizing, healing. Now let your consciousness stay becoming going breath. No thinking. Just be aware of your coming in and going out. is highly important. Breathe in air. How you breathe in and how you breathe out. as you go deeper and deeper within your room. Feel the bliss, energies rise. Please let us all try and come back into our body's consciousness. Be steady with as you progress with each. Try to consciousness. Give thanks to Lord, balancing, harmonizing, and aligning with each. Very slowly. Try to move your feet, your toes, your hands. Deeply straight your neck. Take a deep breath whenever you feel comfortable. And very start feeling your body. Your body as we start with imagine our bodies as pyramids. The as you straighten up your spine, your neck, and now very slowly Try to unclasp your hands. As you unclasp your hands, keep the palm of your hand on your for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And very slowly, try to open your eyes beneath your palms. And whenever you feel ready, masters, try to remove your hands and come out with a beautiful smile and give thanks to your fellow meditators. Try to hug yourself with your hands. Give a tap on your shoulders, your hands, as thanks to your body, as a love towards your own body as you breathe in deeply. Thank you so much, masters. Thank you. If anyone wants to share anything or any experiences that they have, they can. Otherwise, we can definitely end the session, masters. I'm going to take my pause for a minute. If anyone wants to share, they can raise their hands. Or if they want to ask anything. So thank you, masters. Thank you so much. Thank you, Asha ji. Thank you, Harshada ji. Thank you. I hope you all had a wonderful meditation. I hope you were able to go deeper and deeper into your own inner self. So thank you so much, masters. If you don't have any questions to ask or any experiences to share, we can definitely end the session. And it was very happy to have you all here. Thank you so much. Love you all, masters. So may we all practice our meditation daily. May we all be happy, healthy, and vibrant, masters. Thank you for sharing your time, space, and energy with all of us. May we all be happy, vibrant, joyful, peaceful. And may we all practice meditation daily. And also improve. Thank you so much. Let us teach meditation to others and let us awaken others. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow, masters. And maybe we won't have Swadhyaya tomorrow. We'll have Swadhyaya on Thursday or Friday. So I'll let you know with the flyer that goes out. You will come to know. But thank you so much, everyone.